folks, welcome back to Dr. Brainz. So what I wanted to talk about today was the idea of active listening. So active listening is something like, as a psychiatry resident, literally it's 50% of my job, and so much of the healing that psychiatrists do involves active listening, right? So obviously the psychiatric interview is one of the biggest aspects of psychiatry. Interviewing, the way that you interview your patients, the way that you help them come to their own conclusions. You lend a listening ear, but you actively listen so that people feel truly heard, right? And that is powerful. It changes people's lives, literally. And you have not yet had to prescribe anything. You haven't yet come up with a treatment plan, nothing. You've just heard them out. This is the first part of the healing process, and that's just getting to know the patient and the psychiatric interview, all right? But this type of stuff, psychiatric interview, honestly, if you can do it on your mom, you can do it on your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, whatever. You can do it on your kids. You can do it on your co-workers. You can do it on anyone. And what does it mean to actively listen, right? So when someone's telling you, I've got this issue or this is happening, or they might not be very direct in the way that they tell you, because people are always so cautious of what others are going to think of them and their struggles and their thoughts. And, we're always so scared of external scrutiny that we often don't just say what we mean to say, right? So when someone's telling you something, they're going through something or whatever, and they might not be direct about it. If you can figure out how to kind of read between the lines and understand what they really mean and just say it back to them, like, oh, right, so you seem frustrated because you feel a little bit undermined in the workplace, or whatever, right? So you're literally just putting words to their thoughts and you're saying it back to them in a more direct way than they're telling you. They're trying to tell you the same thing, but you're the one who's more direct and you say it back to them in words, in a more direct way. They will just feel like, oh my God, this person gets me. This person is not scrutinizing me, is not making me feel ashamed. They're literally just understanding and putting words to my thoughts. And that is like the greatest relief that anyone can feel, that sense of relief that someone gets me, I'm not going crazy. I have the right to have these feelings. My feelings are valid. If you can validate someone's feelings in a genuine and direct way, my God, you've literally healed their souls. It is that powerful, right? And what's the benefit that you get? So obviously, as a psychiatrist, I have the benefit of figuring out what my patient really wants, what they really need, and then helping treat them with all of that, right? But for you in your daily lives, if you can actively listen when your mom is telling you her issues, or when your husband is telling you his issues or whatever, and you can relate that back to them and invest a little bit of time in listening to them and kind of saying it back, not like saying the whole thing, the whole spiel back, but okay, I'm getting it. You mean like this? You mean like that? Okay, that kind of active listening will open the doors for them to listen to you, right? Because ultimately we want to be heard as well. We want other people to listen to us. We want to get our point across. We want to, change the culture. We want to do something differently. We got a part of the story that we want to say as well in our relationships. So if you start by actively listening to the other party first, and you can do this after an argument or before an argument to prevent an argument, right? And you actively listen to them, they're going to be 100% more willing to listen to anything that comes out of your mouth afterwards, right? So your points are going to hit so much harder because you started by actively listening to them first. You see what I mean? And obviously when you're in the midst of emotion and things aren't going right, you're all feeling a bit stressed and you're kind of on the verge of argumentation, it's not easy to actively listen. You're like, okay, yeah, fine, I get it. And you might be defensive as well. So you're like, yeah, okay, fine. But listen to what I'm trying to say. Are you hearing me first? But if you honestly just take a breath and say, okay, fine, let me hear your side of the story fully, with as little bias as possible, and let me validate some of your feelings, then honestly, anything that you say after that is going to just have so much more power than if you go on the defensive or the offensive or whatever, right? So if you can muster the skill to actively listen during an argument or a conflict or a confrontation or whatever, or a conversation, right? Your side of the story is just going to hit home so much harder, and people are going to linger on your words. Do you see what I mean? They're going to wait to hear what you've actually got to say after you have heard them. Do you see what I mean? It is so powerful. Active listening. So it's not just about reading between the lines on what someone's trying to say and kind of saying it back to them, but also really like understanding the emotion that is in the room, the emotion that they are feeling when they're saying these words. You know, where are these words coming from? Do you see what I mean? What are the emotions behind these words? This person clearly feels a need to say what they're saying. So where is that coming from? You see what I mean? So getting to the origin of it all and laying it out flat, it's going to work wonders in all your relationships. You can thank me later, and I'll be so happy if it does work well in your lives. Okay, so that is active listening. Try it. It's hard, it takes practice, but just listen, soak it all up, and give that person a little summary, 1-2 lines of what you're understanding by what they're saying, right? And if you're not understanding right, they will definitely correct you. Don't worry about that. But if you understand right and you hit the nail on the head, your world is about to change. Active listening. So take these psychiatry skills from the psychiatric interview, apply it to your lives, and honestly, thank me later. And do thank me, because that'll make me feel really good. Okay, so that's it for now. And I'll see you in the next video. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, tell all your people about me, and help me grow. Bye folks, see you next time. Dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension.